Okay, C-dubs. Are your games playing you?
A few years ago, a friend of mine carried a laptop 6 kilometers through the bush just to log into a game and keep a daily login streak alive. That's not fun. That's not entertainment. That's a dark pattern. Hi, I'm Chris Wilson. In this video, I want to show you how some modern games manipulate your schedule, your wallet, and even your friendships. You may have heard the term dark pattern before. It refers to a design that deliberately manipulates user behavior, usually to get those users to spend money or engage more than they intended. A classic example is a hotel site flashing scarcity cues like, "Only one room left, 4 people are booking right now." You also see services that are easy to sign up for but hard to cancel. Confirm shaming buttons that say, "I'd rather pay full price." Optional extras like shipping insurance, pop-ups that say, "Don't leave yet, you have unpurchased items." Dark patterns like these are increasingly common, to the point where regulators and consumer groups are starting to push back. Today I want to talk about a less discussed form of dark patterns, and that's their use in the games that we play and make. Given how much money is made by the games industry, it's no surprise that some developers are applying psychological principles to the reward systems of their games to manipulate players into engaging more. In this video, I'm not talking about gameplay systems that are intentionally addictive or immersive. That's part of the entertainment you signed up for. I'm talking about the meta systems, monetization tricks, retention loops, psychological hooks, and UI traps that manipulate you outside of the actual gameplay. Another way to look at this is, if a developer focuses on making a game as compelling as it possibly can be, and it ends up really fun, interesting, and makes players want to play it again and again, then that developer won't need to rely on manipulative psychological tricks to artificially improve their metrics. Okay, enough preamble. Let's get into some dark patterns. So, like with non-game products, user interface dark patterns are common. For example, some mobile games ask you to rate them out of 5 stars. If you pick 5, you're sent straight to the App Store to leave a review. Anything less sends you to a developer feedback form instead. This quietly biases actual reviews towards higher ratings by making lower scoring reviews harder to leave.
That's fucked.
Another example of a user interface dark pattern is a game that allows you to spend real money to level up gems that can be socketed into your gear.
Oh, shit. I know a game like that.
But players might find that once they have completely maxed out a gem at great expense, more sockets appear, requiring them to spend more money than they initially intended to completely max out their character. This moving of the goalposts could
you get gems that you can put inside gems that you can put inside gems.
Potentially manipulate players into thinking they were going to complete their character for one price when it actually costs a lot more. They may not have committed to spending as much if they knew that from the start. Dark patterns in games extend far beyond just deceptive user interfaces. They're typically categorized as temporal,
Great Twitch stuff, TTS there, guys. Really
social, beyond spending as much if they knew that from the start. Dark patterns in games extend far beyond just deceptive user interfaces, though. They're typically categorized as temporal, social, psychological, and monetary dark patterns.
Oh, shit.
I've put some links to some of my references that have comprehensive lists in the video description, but I'll go through a few of the major ones with you right now. Before we get started, I should note that pretty much any mechanism that tries to manipulate a change in user behavior is considered a dark pattern in games, but the severity varies a lot. Some of them are much more mild than others, and a lot of different opinions about which of them are harmless and which are going too far. I'll weigh in with my personal feelings about this later in the video. Many live service games have daily login rewards. In behavioral psychology,
I'm just thinking about right now, like action role-playing games are literal fucking casinos. Like you're opening boxes and you're getting loot that's randomized, and it could be really good or it could be really bad. So every time you open it, it's like you're pulling a lever. You know, legit. It's actually like straight up gambling, but now it's not getting you to spend like money. It's just getting you to spend time and getting you addicted. But I mean, that's manipulating your behavior for sure. Compared to something like League of Legends, where there's no randomness. It's like you're just playing a game, you're just trying to win, right? I understand he said that gameplay mechanics, but then it's like, I don't know. Wait, he's saying anything that manipulates your behavior. Well, I'm sorry, those gameplay mechanics are manipulating my behavior. Random teammates. So yeah, wait, I don't think it's the same thing. Do you think it's the same when you join a lobby? It's just the god team. I'm unboxing my teammates, and maybe they'll be correct. You reckon that's what it is?
When an action is followed by
No, I think League of Legends is the denial of the reward, right? League of Legends is like it's the same as Dark Souls, where you don't get what you want, so then you try to go again, and then the more you are denied, the more you want the thing. So then it's like when you lose to a boss, you want to kill it more and more and more and more to the point where you like fucking really want to kill it. And then you finally kill it, and it's like a release. A release.
reward, your
CBT.
brain learns to repeat it. Every day that you log in and receive this reward, you'll get a hit of dopamine, building a habit over time. Players who are conditioned to logging in every day do it not because they're excited to play, but because it feels like brushing their teeth, just something they have to do. Some games have login streaks. This is where the rewards escalate for each sequential day you log in. When you break the streak, your rewards reset back down to the minimum level. Now, humans have a strong sense of loss aversion, where losses feel roughly twice as bad as gains feel good, and hence players will go significantly out of their way to avoid breaking these streaks. As I mentioned before, I have a friend who was on an off-the-grid camping trip and had to walk 6 kilometers with his laptop and a 3G modem so he could keep a login streak going in some random game he was playing. There are even games out there that let you pay real money to restore a broken streak. In addition to daily login bonuses, many games have daily tasks or challenges which reset every 24 hours. Players feel obliged to complete these so that the easy rewards don't go to waste. They don't want to miss out on cheap progress that everyone else is getting. Some games...
I hate that shit. Bro, I hate that. Dailies in World of Warcraft. Oh my god. Dude, and then weekly resets. And the way... Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, that shit sucks, bro. Dailies are the worst. Dailies were the worst. Literally, PoE. No, PoE is like you can just play for as much as you want, or you can not play. Wait, what? Where are the PoE dailies? I guess the closest you got is Lizard Cowgirl League, which you can kind of opt out of. But I wouldn't say those necessarily dailies. Yeah, the closest thing to this is King's March and Path of Exile.
Rely on dark patterns rooted in social obligation to manipulate you into behaving differently. For example, it's common for mobile base builder games to have guilds or clans where daily participation, like doing quests or donating resources, is important for your guild to succeed. If you don't log in each day and perform these actions, you let your friends down, which causes guilt and social pressure for you to be active daily. This dark pattern can exploit and strain our friendships, especially when the game is tuned to make daily participation essentially mandatory.
Dude, you know what I hate the most is when you're playing a game and you got the red dots on the things you haven't collected. And then there's like, and they basically train you, like whenever you see a red dot, you click it, and then it opens up a UI panel, and then there'll be like a red dot next to something that says claim, and you click it, and it goes pshing, and you get these little hits every time you click little red dots, and you're trained like a little monkey to click the red dots. Okay, you train like a little monkey, and then what happens is once they've got you conditioned to the red dots, well then they start putting the red dots on the shop. And then they make you scroll through the shop. And then they make you click the things inside. You get like one free thing inside a shop. And it's like next to all the stuff you buy. And you're actually getting trained like a dog to just spend money on the game. So fucked.
Other games feature gifting between players, where reciprocation of gifts is
Chad.
rewarded with extra bonuses. This taps into reciprocity pressure to cause you to feel the need to log in daily and return gifts to people. Some games have refer a friend bonuses, or even outright pyramid schemes, where you make faster progress if you have recruited an extensive network of friends to join the game and play with you. Time-gated tasks, or playing by appointment, are when a game tells you have to come back at a specific time or face consequences. Popularized by farming games where your crops would wither and die if not harvested at the right time, the game forces control of your schedule, sometimes making you wake up in the middle of the night to click buttons or lose your investment.
Ugh.
Contemporary mobile games often have timers and energy mechanics, where your ability to progress the game is blocked until you come back when these resources have regenerated. While this is less harsh than your crops being completely lost, you'll feel pressure to come back at exactly the right time to maximize your rate of progress. When you're not the one deciding when you play the game, but instead having the game decide for you, it's worth questioning your entire relationship with that game. Some live service games create artificial scarcity for their store items. As entirely digital purchases, there's no physical requirement to limit the number of people who can purchase something, but doing so often causes it to sell much faster due to players fearing they're going to miss out.
Bro, this is what the fucking shirt guys do and shit. This is what they do. I was talking to one of these companies, and okay, and do you know what they would say on the call? Do you know what they said on the call? Yeah, we'll just say there's only this many. we'll just say this, and don't worry, we print it later. I'm like, no, the whole point of having a limited stock is because you pre-make the items and then they can like get them straight away. Like, no, we'll just say like there's only this many, but then they'll make them to order. So it'll be a fake number. Wait, that sounds massively, disingenuous, and you kind of, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's what you do. It's like, no, that's not what. Well, that's the thing. That's what some of the websites do. They'll say there's an amount of things there, and you won't actually be there. Anyway, we basically cut ties with these guys and said fuck you. But this is what they do. This is what they do. Never if it says there's a limited amount of stock, but it's like, or they basically, you're not getting it within like 2 to 5 days. Okay, it's a scam, and you're getting scammed. Now, if it says you get it in 2 to 5 days and there's limited stock, well, that just means they've printed like 500 shirts. Okay, and that's how many there are. The basic doll didn't have limited stock, bitch. The basic doll had an order window, and then you would order that amount, and then you would wait a while, and then it would get sent out, you dumb fuck. It was unlimited. The Goo shirts they got sent out straight away because they were pre-printed. You fucking guys, we told these people to fuck off. They were super sus vibes.
This pattern is similar to the one employed in gacha games, where they often have certain characters available for purchase only occasionally, causing a frenzy of activity when they are. Not only does this cause more sales, but it conditions players to check in with the game daily to see if the character they want is available for sale.
Jesus.
There are a variety of dark patterns related to premium currency in games. Developers can design their premium currency packs to be slightly too small to buy the most desirable items, requiring players to purchase more premium currency at once than they plan to. Developers can pick arbitrary exchange rates for their premium currency, so that players can't really understand the true cost of the item they're buying. Cheap items can be placed next to expensive items in the store to make them look like better value. Some games employ special in-game or money.
That's what like every shop does, by the way. Like that's what all fast food does as well. I mean, this is like he's describing like aggressive marketing tactics. I think, does PoE literally do it? Yeah, maybe. I think maybe PoE does that actually. Yeah.
Events that are time limited or seasonal. The content and rewards are only available for a limited time window. Players do not want to miss out on a unique reward that may never be available again, so this limited availability causes fear of missing out, which leads to intense and anxious play during the event window. There's also a phenomenon called the Endowed progress effect, which shows that if players are given a head start on a reward track, then they are far more likely to finish the rest of that track so that they don't waste the progress they have so far, even though they didn't even make that progress themselves.
Dude, reward track. Oh, dude, I hate those, by the way. I hate the Key X pass thing in PoE. I hate all battle passes in fucking games. I hate anything where anytime it says claim. Anytime it says claim, bro. Or, any user interface thing where you just have to complete a checklist and then you get stuff. I hate that. I feel like a little fucking dog. Like a fucking dog that's just barking on command. Like, do this and you get... Now, you put that exact same thing, not on a reward track, not on a UI element, but like a fucking... There's a guy, you can choose to do a quest from, or you can choose not to. Then it's like, it feels like an option. And it feels way less. That's far more organic, and it doesn't feel anywhere like a battle pass. Now, they could just have like single time quests you could do each league if you want, which is like kind of like what they got. But it's one of those things where I feel like, why not just do it like that? Why not just have the most? I guess it's because battle passes are proven to get people addicted more. I guess probably it's probably just people, they get probably better engagement and stuff with the games.
It's a bit like the sunk cost fallacy. This is why some battle pass schemes start with the first items already completed, or have some really easy ones that are inadvertently completed while playing. This manipulates players into committing to complete a reward track that they may not have chosen to attempt without the free bump of progress at the start.
Wait, Gift 2, how is Gift 2 like a battle pass? I'm confused how Gifting 2 is like a battle pass. Wait, what? The reason why gifted subs shit is not a dark pattern. That's just an MTX you can get by gifting subs. The reason why the devs do it is because it's like a way of, it's like the cheapest, most efficient way of getting streamers to play their game who might not otherwise play the game because they want to get gifted subs. What are you talking about? That's why they're doing it for advertising for their game. They're doing it for it's FOMO 100%. Well, that's not a fucking. I'm not saying it's. You're saying it's like a reward track. I'm saying no. It's a MTX that you can buy. Yes, you are right though. It is a temporary window you can buy an item. It is a temporary window you can buy an item. Yeah, you could say that. I mean, dude, every single loot box. This box is going to be available for only this time, and then it's gone from the store forever. Like, that's FOMO. I mean, like, is it FOMO when I say, like, dude, we're making these shirts, and there's this many, and then once they're gone, they're gone? I mean, that's just a reality, though, right? But then again, I guess with a digital good, they could just keep selling it, right? They could just keep selling it because it's a digital good. But whereas with a physical item, well, there are just that many, and then that's how many there are. So then if you fucking, ran out, well, then GG. Well, then reprinting the shirts, well, that means you have to sign another contract, you need to talk to the company again, they need to organize the logistics, and you got to do it all again, right? It's like, it's different than just being like keeping it up on a store. That's for a digital good. Okay. Oh, shut the fuck up. Have you ever sold thousands of shirts before, bro? Have you ever fucking done that before? You haven't. So you don't understand what goes into it. Okay, chat, my shirts were sold for non-profit, for charity, and there was all sorts of dramas with people like not getting their fucking shirts and saying it's a fucking scam. And it was just, it's a headache. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. No, chat. They went to like breast cancer research. I think the latest ones were, and then we did 2 Starship Children's Hospital, and then we've done a few of them. What are you talking about? No, they were. What are you talking about? It was not 100 shirts, bro. There was like fucking 10 different designs, and there was like 200 of each. Okay. There was a lot of shirts. There's a lot of fucking shirts, bitch.
So we've gone through a bunch of different dark patterns, and some of them seem pretty user hostile. You may be wondering, why would developers pollute their live service games with all this crap? Well, there are several answers to that question.
I'll tell you what,
and the first is that it works.
To-do.
These techniques are all highly effective. They produce the desired outcomes. They manipulate well-understood psychological principles that our human brains are vulnerable to. The second reason is that players generally tolerate many of these design patterns pretty well. Have a look at the games you play and see what techniques they're using from this video. Ask yourself if these are a big enough deal that you'll quit playing the game entirely over them. Chances are you're still playing the game despite the presence of these manipulative elements. Another important reason is mindshare. There are a lot of live service games out there, and players have a limited amount of free time. If a game doesn't have all of the addictive hooks and manipulative retention mechanisms we discussed, then its players may find themselves compulsively logging into other games to complete daily tasks and forget to play this one.
Chat.
There are also foreign...
Is streaming consistently a dark pattern, or is that just smart? Like, I don't even understand. Because I would stream less consistently if I wasn't, like, so good. That's like saying, like, what? But does that mean a coffee shop that's always open at 7 o'clock in the morning at that same place and time, a dark pattern? No, that's just because you want to go to that coffee shop. And, like, if that coffee shop was just, like, randomly not open and you would travel to that coffee shop, well, then now you're going to be, like, pissed off. Now you're going to be pissed off. Right? Because you're going to be like, well, I just came here to get a coffee and it's randomly closed. Well, I wanted to get my coffee. It's like one of those things where this is a straight up thing about streaming chat, if you didn't know. So, if a streamer goes live around the same time every single day, what happens is people just instinctively tune in. They tune in a couple times and then they're just like, whatever. They wake up in the morning and like, or they get home from work, whatever the routine is. And that becomes a habit. It becomes habitual where they just like chuck on the stream, which is why there's these streamers who are like been streaming for many, many years, like 10 years plus, and they're still fucking live. And do you know what? Do you know what the number one theme between all these guys is? They're consistent, and just conditioning people. Like you just becomes habitual. People just watch because it's just there at the same time every day. But like, is that a dark pattern, or is it just being smart? I don't know. Like what even? I don't know, man. Some of these dark patterns. I feel like there's stuff that's on the scale where it's like that's just a good pen, And then the stuff that's like, oh yeah, the little red dots that make you, give you free stuff, and then eventually the red dots lead to a shop icon, or like, you're trying to like unsubscribe, but like the unsubscribe text is fucking micro text. It's fucking micro text. That's a dark pattern, right? Like when it's clearly, but there's patterns that are just smart patterns. I'm gonna change it. That was a new term. It's a smart pattern.
Publishers. When a game releases and is popular in its
like a Path of Exile release cadence, that's a smart pattern. It's a smart pattern.
home regions, publishers from other countries approach the studio and offer to localize and market the game in their region. But in order to take the risk of investing in license fees and marketing costs, the publisher is going to want to make sure the game is...
Do you know Crip made them do it? Do you know what's funny? Crip made them do that release cadence like that. But you know where Crip learned that? From streaming at a consistent cadence. That's literally what I'm talking about. It's the exact same tech.
Sticky.
Crip literally made them do it by Path of Exile started releasing their patches and bundling them with all the content in one thing instead of lots of little ones because of what Crip said to Chris Wilson. He said it in a Games Done Quick seminar. Yeah, Crip knows, and Crip's still fucking kicking around and popping off on Twitch, and he's playing the most dog shit boring games. I do not know how, but he's still playing the Bazaar game. It is truly mind blowing. I do not know how he's doing it. Bro, I played that game for a day, and I was like, that's pretty cool. 2 days, I'm like, okay, decent. 3 days, I'm fucking thinking, okay. Chat was over it by day 3. They're like, whoa, please play anything else. But he's still going. He's still going, bro. Shit is nuts.
And lucrative as possible. The publisher dares not suggest...
Yeah, Megabonk is insanely good. Okay, what are you talking about? Megabonk's going to go Game of the Year, motherfucker. Megabonk's going Game of the Year. Fuck you. Fuck you, bro.
Changes to the actual game itself, as the game is already proven to be good. So the only way they have to juice the retention and monetization is through meta systems, which very easily stray into dark pattern territory. Finally, the entire games as a service industry measures the value of a game as a function of its daily active user count and its retention rates. If you're making a live service game, you're only going to be able to get funding if you have a solid plan to retain your users. That plan probably ends up involving some number of these dark patterns, because you have to compete against other games using these techniques. If you have a publisher or investor involved, they're probably going to want to see industry benchmarked retention and return from your game. And that is...
Those guys are fucking retarded, though. Those guys are fucking retarded, though. That's so stupid. It's like, it needs to be live service, and they need to be logging in every day, and they need to be buying MDX. Fuck off. Fuck off. Make a cracked game with, an amount of money like this, and then sell it, so then you get an amount of money like that. Okay? And then, look, okay, you spent this much money and time making it, and you got that much money. It's GG. You pay everyone this big profit. Awesome. Cool. Now... either A, make an expansion for that game, or B, make a new game. Do the same thing. Pretty fucking simple. It doesn't need to be some live service permanently online, fucking MTX out the wazoo, fucking dark pattern login every day bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Benchmarked against other games that are packed full of dark patterns.
There it is.
If you refuse to use dark patterns in your games, you're effectively competing with games that do use them.
Megabonk and Here's Coming as are perfect games to describe this. They just made a badass game that was fun to log. You just buy it and you have a lot of fun, and then you log out and you're just satisfied with your experience. Okay, that's a great dude. Here's Coming, bro. It was $5 or $10. I played that game for 70 hours. Amazing. I would have played it for longer if it hadn't been for fucking cheaters. Okay, fucking cheaters, ruining it. Okay. Dude, they had mean meta systems and mean progression. They had awesome the asynchronous PvP. It was so good. So good. So good. Yeah. Unfortunate cheaters ruined it. But yeah, no, those are perfect games to, give us examples for just make a good game that's people buy it and they play it and then you make money, GG.
While operating at a disadvantage on the metrics that investors care about. This situation really sucks. While by definition, a dark pattern is a design that benefits the developer at the player's expense, some of the techniques mentioned in this video aren't entirely evil, and if clearly communicated and balanced fairly, wouldn't qualify as actual dark patterns. For example, it's pretty clear that escalating login streaks are quite manipulative, because players really want to avoid breaking their streak. But flat daily login rewards might be more acceptable to players because the penalty for not logging in is just missing one day of rewards. If those rewards are sufficiently generous, and the game is not manipulative elsewhere, players might be happy with that system. There are certainly players who really look forward to daily bonuses or special events in their favorite games, and enjoy the structure and rewards that those bring, despite the drawbacks we've talked about. Some developers argue that a little psychological nudge can enhance enjoyment of the game, for example by encouraging players via rewards to explore parts of the game they wouldn't otherwise try out. Achievement systems are a common example of this. I previously talked about how time-limited events can be manipulative, because they often offer exclusive rewards that require a lot of work to unlock during a narrow time period, and can take advantage of your fear of missing out. This is a problem when the event involves grinding out existing content, but honestly, isn't that bad when the event consists of interesting new content? For example, back in January of 2017, Blizzard celebrated the 20-year anniversary of Diablo 1's release by introducing a special event into Diablo 3. The Darkening of Tristram was an homage to Diablo 1 within the Diablo 3 engine, complete with a pixelization shader and a strict orthographic isometric projection like Diablo 1. Players got to play through this mini version of Diablo 1 with their Diablo 3 characters, and it was honestly pretty cool.
It was cool,
Even
but
cynical old me reinstalled Diablo 3 and had a fun time checking it out. It looks like they're still running this anniversary dungeon event annually since then. This was a very well executed example of a time-limited in-game event that was a net win for everyone. I have nothing to complain about there. On the other hand, time-limited events...
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, that was a good meme, right? But like every single... if you want like a fucking showcase, like every single dark pattern crammed into... Like every single dark pattern possible crammed into a single game, look no further than Blizzard's Diablo Immortal. Like, I've never seen a game as heinous as that one. Truly.
...that don't introduce new content can be more dangerous. A number of years ago, a fellow game director told me a story about a live service game he was running. He wanted to increase player activity in the gaps between expansions, so he decided to try running a double experience weekend. It was a huge success and saw way more players playing than usual. After the weekend, however, player numbers dipped down below where they were before the weekend.
Yep.
So they ran another double experience weekend the following weekend. You can predict where the story went. After a while, people only played on those special weekends because playing on weekdays felt far less worthwhile in comparison. The game eventually shut down.
Boom!
While games that overuse dark patterns alienate their users and eventually see the opposite of the good retention they were aiming for, the primary victims of dark patterns are the players themselves. Players affected by dark patterns find themselves compelled into behavior they wouldn't normally perform, whether that's making purchases they hadn't planned for, logging in on days they hadn't intended to play on, grinding content they wouldn't normally choose to grind, referring friends who might not have an interest in the game, or having to set an alarm at 4 AM to tend some crops. These actions have both an impact on their day-to-day life, but also reduce their enjoyment of the actual game itself. They often lead to feelings of anxiety, fear of missing out, commitment pressure, guilt, and frustration. The scary thing is, I'm an adult in my 40s.
Bro, I legit had I remember playing this one game. I don't remember what it was. It was like one of them games where you fucking have like a base and it builds up super slow over time. It's like an online one on a computer. And I paid a bit of money. I paid money for it, guys, but like I had like 4 alarms and they would go off and I'd wake up and I'd like click my shit, start it up again. It was dude, not good. Fuck. And you know what? I don't even remember the name of the game anymore. I don't even remember the fucking name of the game anymore.
Who has spent his career working in live service games. I deeply know all about these tricks and still find them affecting me far more than I'm comfortable with. Imagine what it's doing to kids who are incredibly vulnerable to the constant bombardment of gambling, compulsion, addiction, loss aversion, and anxiety-inducing dark patterns that these games contain. So far in this video, I've tried to offer a relatively neutral take on the pros and cons of these game design patterns. While they're called dark patterns and have a high potential for abuse, I've explained that some of them are moderately harmless if used in a way that provides a lot of value for players. But if you're watching my channel, you probably want my actual opinion on all of this. I put a lot of thought into this area because I used to run a live service game, and I frequently had to make decisions related to what design patterns were used for meta systems, retention mechanics, and monetization. So here's my current take on this topic. First of all, I think that pretty much everything is fair game in terms of the actual design of the game itself. If a game is targeted at adults rather than children, I don't have a problem with people leaning on behavioral psychology research when designing the actual gameplay of the game and its reward systems within the game. Make your games fun, make them compelling, make people want to play them and want to return to them for their own merits. Your job as a game designer is to make a really fun game
and turn everything into a slot machine. Okay? Because that's what Path of Exile is. He's right. Yeah, that we are all gambling addicts. Chad, if you love Path of Exile, you love slot machines. Okay? Because that's what it is. So it's just 100 different slot machines that all like got different. They got different MTX.
And understanding how the human brain works is important for that. Players becoming invested in your game and deeply caring about their progression is a good thing. It's why people play games. But I draw the line at deploying dark patterns because they are related to retention systems, meta progression, and monetization. When I'm playing a game, I don't want to have a fear of missing out that makes me feel like I have to play frantically during time-limited events. I don't want to have to log into the game every single day to avoid breaking some stupid streak. I don't want to have to do some minimum amount of activity every day, otherwise I miss out on bonuses. I don't want to have to spam my friends to remind them to log in, otherwise I miss out on rewards. I hate all of this bullshit. When I was growing up, games were designed to be fun, not manipulative. They didn't have literal behavioral scientists and psychologists on staff trying to rewire my brain. Look, I love the economic and competitive aspects of live service online games, but I just don't find myself enjoying most modern ones. Whenever I see daily tasks, seasonal events, and all the exclusivity FOMO, I just lose all hope that I'll actually enjoy playing the game because I know that it'll be playing me. If you're a developer and really want to add retention mechanisms without straying too deeply into dark patterns, what can you do? Well, first of all, you should try to make your game as fun as possible on its own merits, before relying on external meta mechanics to try to add engagement. Once you've done this, it's a matter of transparency, fairness, and respect for your players. Transparently communicate how things work and what players have to do in plain language. Avoid hidden gotchas that players are unaware of. For example, if you're using loot boxes, clearly communicate their drop rates. Try to ensure that optional challenges reward effort rather than attendance. Make sure that time-limited events last long enough for real-life schedules. Carefully consider whether reward should be exclusive or whether you should have the event returned with the same rewards later, giving players a chance to get them if they miss out this time.
I mean, technically, Path of Exile does have loot box weightings, right? Because you've got item mod weightings, and you've not because we've got that, so we know how rare items are. Yeah, you can calculate it.
It's worth thinking about the concept of time-agnostic gaming. Try not to care about when a player plays your game. Some people can't game every day, but have lots of time available on the weekends. It's unfair if the progress they make is slower than someone who manages to log in every day to claim some type of login reward.
True.
So that's been a tour through the dangerous world of dark patterns. As game developers, we have an obligation to think very carefully before we employ strategies like these. Push back and make sure that the reason you're adding something is because it's actually adding more fun, rather than because it'll artificially create more retention or juice some other metric. As gamers, we also have an obligation to push back. If you want more game in your games and less bullshit...
The thing is, if you can artificially increase retention, but then you charge like a subscription fee, well then GG, you're making money. Right? Like artificial, you know what I'm saying? And if you can like put some dark pattern in that makes people spend more money, well then they just get more money. That's their logic. Right? They don't really... But it's one of those things, dude, come on. Just make a good game. And then if you're making a good game, you're going to earn money. The issue is this, right? They make a good game, and they're earning money. And they're like, well, we could do this thing that's a little bit dog shit. But then we get twice as much money. And then it's like, okay, you put that in front of like an investor. And you say, okay, do we want to get twice as much money or not get twice as much money? Yeah, it's like technically a little bit scummy what we're going to do, but like, whatever. Everyone's doing it. They're going to say twice as much money every time. They're going to say, yeah, max, get the money thing and just turn it up to the max. That's what they're going to say.
Good. Make sure that you communicate this to developers. Your money and attention are precious. Spend them wisely. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Yo, C-Dubs, liking. I've already subscribed though, bro. Let's link C-Dub's video. That's the video we're going to watch today, chat. There it is. We're logging into it. We got to fight. Chat. I got to fight Bale.